So now let's go on to looking at some more questions, again dealing with our basic exponent rules, but this time we're going to add in coefficients. Of all the mistakes kids make with exponent laws, this is the one that they make. And they make it with the power rule with the coefficient. So for example, if you have brackets here, and you've got a bunch of stuff written inside this bracket, and you've got an exponent right up here, that exponent applies to everything in the bracket, whether it is a number or a letter. A lot of kids forget about the number. Okay, so let's go through some examples. So let's start off with a basic one here. X to the 5th cubed. So again, we've got our base. It does not change. When powers touch, they times. So x to the exponent 15 is the answer. Okay, for the next one now, let's deal with the a's first. So we've got a cubed times a4 times a squared. So again, write out the a. You're multiplying, so we're going to add the exponents. So 3 plus 4 plus 2, or 2 plus 4 plus 3, it doesn't matter what order you do it in, is 9. Now, the number in front is called the coefficient. So this one has a coefficient of 1, this one has a coefficient of 1. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go 1 times 3 is 3a to the 9th. Now for this one, this is where it starts getting tricky for a lot of kids. Okay, so do you understand that that squared means to times it by itself? So there's two ways to do this question. Option number 1 is to go, okay, squared means to times itself. So I'm going to write this bracket out twice, because that means times it by itself. So now I've got my coefficient times by my coefficient. So 4 times 4 is 16. Now I'm going to use my exponent laws. So a times a, b times b, 2 plus 2, 3 plus 3. So it is 16, a to the 4th, b to the 6th. Okay, so that's the first option you could do for that question. So I'm going to erase that and I'm going to show you another way that you could do this question. Okay, just give me a second here to get all that erased. Okay, so another way to do this question is, think of it like this. Think of it as 4 to the exponent 1, a squared, b cubed, all squared. So put that 1 in. Okay, so anything that doesn't have an exponent, put a 1 in. Now you've got 3 bases. This 2 is going to affect everything. You're going to use the power rule on all of it. So remember, your bases do not change. So your bases are 4, a, b. And now you're going to go 1 times 2, 2 times 2, 3 times 2. Now, you can either use your calculator or use your brain. 4 squared is 16. So with your coefficients, with numbers, you take them one extra step. Don't leave it as 4 squared, write it as 16. And then A4, B6. So we get the same answer regardless of which way we do it. Okay? So if you would like, you can try the next one, number 4. Okay? I'm going to go ahead. So if you want to try it first, hit pause, and then compare your answer to mine. So option number 1, cubed means write it out 3 times. So 3a2, 3a2, 3a2 times 2a cubed squared means write it out twice. So now you've got 3 times 3 times 3, which is 27, times 2 times 2. So if you need to use your calculator, that gives you out 108. And then A2, A2, A2 A3, A3. We're going to add up all those A's. So 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 3 plus 3. So we get out 12. So that's option number 1, 108 a to the 12th. Another option, just going to erase what I've got here. It'll take me a second. This eraser's not that great. Oh, come on. Okay, next option is to say, okay, this coefficient has a 1, this 2 has a 1. So this 3 is going to affect everything there, and this 2 is going to affect everything there. So again, your bases don't change. So you've got a 3 and an A for your first base, and a 2 and an A for your second base. So 3 times 1, 3 times 2, 2 times 1, 3 times 2. So now using your calculator, what you would do is you would go 3 cubed times 2 squared. You would get out 108. And then you've got A6 times A6. So you would add them. 6 plus 6 is 12. Okay, so that's the other way that you could do it. Okay, so if you want to try the next question, again, you would hit pause here. Okay, so again, I'm just going to write it as negative 5, 1, x2, y1, that one's all squared, times by x cubed y. So this 2 is going to affect everything. So I've got negative 5, 1 times 2, x, 2 times 2, y, 1 times 2. Then rewrite that out. Okay, now we talked about this on the very first day. Negative 5 squared, when you plug that into your calculator, you have to put brackets around that base. So negative 5 squared, or negative 5 times negative 5 is 25. Now with our letters, we're going to use our exponent laws. So I'm multiplying. So 4 plus 3 is 7. 2 plus 1 is 3. So 25, x7, y3. Okay, so again, these questions are not easy. Okay, you have to really focus on what you're doing. Exponent laws is probably one of the most challenging concepts that we do in the entire course, because you have to pay attention to every little detail. You can't do this kind of listening to music, watching TV, having a conversation. You've got to sit down in a quiet place and really focus on what you're doing and practice, practice, practice. So I will add part B to this video. I will do some sample questions off of the homework assignment, but if you're ready to go on the homework assignment, go right ahead. As always, practice everything and make sure you're checking your answers and asking if you don't understand something. Okay, we'll see you in the next one.